All right, welcome everyone. Welcome to today's live stream where I will talk about my own journey as a trader, how I went from not knowing anything about TA to creating my system, give you a quick overview of how I did that, how I created the system, and how you could create your system as well. So today's going to be an interesting episode because I'm going to just come up with a random idea and we're going to test that idea to see if we can create a system using that idea. All right, good morning, guys. So I haven't really planned this much, but I'm thinking I'm gonna come up with some random ideas, something I haven't really done in the past. And before we go into any details of the system, today's live stream is sponsored by Prime XPT, where I'm trading the crypto and the forex markets. If you're interested in also trying out the crypto market, trying out the forex market with using crypto as collateral, definitely check out the link in the description below, and you will also get up to $7,500 in a deposit bonus. All right. So the idea here is we're gonna first of all, I kind of want to go through my journey as a trader, right? What I did to become successful, or what I believe like the steps are, the necessary steps are to potentially become a profitable trader. So there's mainly two paths, right? And there's two phases or two cycles of this development, right? So what you first have to do is learn the technicals, right? Learn technical analysis, right? And then especially important for me because I'm a technical trader. I'm a TA trader. I trade a system based on 100% TA, no fundamentals at all. Of course, if you are a fundamental trader, you want to you want to trade based on fundamental news or whatever's going on around the world. Obviously, you need to learn a system based on fundamentals first, but this live stream will be all about technical analysis, right? So first you have to learn technical analysis. I've written a lot about that on Twitter. So if you're interested in getting more tips and tricks on trading, make sure to follow me on Twitter. I'm at libs42. I've done a couple of threads on how where to start in your TA journey. But basically, you should learn everything there is to know about TA, and you should try to stick with the ideas that make sense to you. So what I first recommend is research and learn everything you can about market structure, how to identify the different market structures. And basically there's two, ranging market and a trending market. Learn to identify market structures and then focus on horizontal support and resistance. That's going to be your base in pretty much all type of trading. 99% of these systems out there use a form of horizontal support and resistance, and of course market structure is very, very important. So focus on that. When you know the basics of that, you can go and look towards other indicators like the stochastic RSI, the RSI, the Bollinger Bands. Look for divergences, use the MACD, whatever. You look at candlestick patterns, stuff like that, right? And the idea here is that you should stick with whatever makes sense, right? So if you find something that just doesn't make any sense at all, you don't really understand the concept, and you feel like it's just too advanced, it's too weird for you, leave that, right? And focus on the stuff that you do understand and what you like doing, right? Because it's very important that you find indicators that you feel is you need to find stuff that is in alignment with your trading style and your trading personality, right? So for me, I've always liked the idea of following trends and getting in on the break and retest. I've always liked that idea, and I haven't really I never really seen range trading as something interesting, right? So I've completely left that out, and I've focused on what I like doing and what I think makes sense, right? And when you do have a basic knowledge of market structure, horizontal levels, and some basic knowledge of the indicators that you want to be using, it's now time to come up with an idea, right? What is your idea? Because everyone needs to have a trading idea, a trading system based on that idea. And the first thing you have to do is come up with an idea, and then you should test that idea. So let's say you have an idea of an entry trigger. I'm not going to show you the details of this because we're going to do exactly this in a moment, right? But when you've done all of that, right, let's say you have a trading system. You're now done with the technical analysis educational journey. You now know everything you need to know about the indicators that you're going to use in your system, and that's all you need to know, right? If you have a system with specific indicators, all you need to know, all the information you need is about those indicators. You don't really need to study anything else, right? If you have a profitable system and you're using specific indicators, why care about anything else? You should be laser focused on that system and those indicators that created that system, and just ignore everything else. And when you're done with that, and you start trading, it's now time for the second phase, right? The second cycle of your trading journey, and this is the never ending part of your educational journey, right? When you've learned TA, you have a system. It's now time to perfect that system and your mental state of mind. That's when you start to focus on the trading psychology, and that is just going to be a never ending struggle, right? So when you do start trading that system, you have to kind of leave the TA education behind and start focusing on trading psychology. I'm not going to go into any basics of this right now. What I can say is there's a book called Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. It's also available as an audiobook, I believe, on YouTube. I highly recommend. And for all my students that go through my mentoring process, it's required reading, right? It's required reading for everyone, because I do believe that if you do figure out the stuff that Mark Douglas talks about in that book, you have everything you need to be a successful trader in the mental aspect of trading. So read that book, study that book. I read that book probably a couple of times every year. And when I'm out on a run, I have the audiobook running on like 2x speed, and I have specific chapters that I go through to kind of get that motivation up. So yeah, good book. Read that book. Now let's talk about the creation of a trading system. And of course, if you have any questions, or maybe you have an idea of what you would like me to test here, or something you would like me to incorporate into this testing, just let me know. Right, so let's create. By the way, guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm pretty sure most of you are already subscribed, but like the video if you like what I'm doing here. Let's come up with an idea, right? So I'm a swing trader. I'm a trend following trader. I trade based on horizontal support and resistances, and I trade based on the break and retest strategy. So I'm thinking, let's do something completely different. Let's start off with start writing some ideas here. Actually, you know what? We're going to be using this backtesting template. So let's write the ideas here. All right. So it's going to be range. All right, a range trading system. And you know what? Let's just not say it could be a range or trend system. So let's not care about if the market is in a range or a trend. We're going to, it's not going to be a break and retest system, right? So we're going to sell resistance and buy support, right? And the what indicators are we going to be using here, right? What indicators we're going to be using? Let's use something I know. I usually use the exponential moving averages, but we're not going to use that here. So let's just use the stochastics RSI. The stochastics RSI. And we're going to be looking for some type of reversal pattern, like reversal candlestick pattern, right? Reversal candle. And that could be whatever. Let's Google that, right? Reversal candlestick patterns. So let's bring up if we can find a decent spreadsheet here. I like this one. This is a good one. So let's put up a picture here. So this is a couple of candlestick reversal patterns. So let's and by the way, guys, if this is a good picture, because I really like the fact that, you know, here you have bullish engulfing, hangman, hammer, some of the stuff, you know, shooting stars, pin bars, and all that stuff, right? But interestingly enough, and this has always been my approach in trading, right? If you print this out, right? You print this out, you put it on the wall, and you're going to be looking for all of these, right? You're going to be looking for all of these, and you're going to be like, you know, it's good. It comes to a point where you're gonna come to a level where there's like more, that's too much analysis, right? You can't be looking for all of this, right, on a daily basis. It's gonna be too much information overload, right? It's gonna be an analysis paralysis. So what I like to do is, and in my trading, I keep it very, very simple, very, 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 very simple, right? All of these have something in common, right? All of these candlestick patterns have something in common, right? Here you can see the first line is bearish reversals, right? And here you have, well, actually they're bullish and bearish. Anyway, what I wanted to show you here is every top and every bottom on this picture right here is a swing top and a swing bottom, rounded, or a W, like a V bottom or top, but they're all rounded, right? So when I'm looking for a confirmed bottom or a confirmed bounce on my swing trading system, I'm not looking for individual candles, right? So yes, these can, like, just to be sure, these patterns right here, I basically only use one, and it's this one, right? The bullish or bearish engulfing, right? That's the only one I use, only care about. But then again, if I see a rounded bottom like this, that's going to be a buy, and I'm probably going to be buying here or here, right? Stop below here. So what I'm trying to say is, instead of focusing all of these specific candlestick patterns and think like, if this candlestick pattern prints, it's going to be a bottom, it's going to be a top, right? What I recommend is, at least in the beginning when you start trading, wait for the top to be put in, like wait for that top to be printed, and wait for the bottoms to be obvious. This is an obvious bottom. Now, is this obvious after these three white soldiers, this one right here? Not really obvious, but is it obvious up here? Yes, absolutely, right? Absolutely. You have that round the bottom. So if you can enter here and stops down here and still have a good take profit area, you should be doing that. Yes, you will probably double your profits if you enter down here. You would probably double the profits if you enter here. But then again, like, doubling the profit sounds amazing, but you then have to look at win rate and your ability to get in early on a trade, because it's really hard, guys. It's really hard to have that discipline and patience to get in early, and then, because the win rate is going to be much lower, right? If you get in early, the win rate is going to be lower. If you wait for confirmation, the win rate is going to be higher, but the risk to reward is going to be lower, right? So you need to find that sweet spot. In the beginning, I always say to all my students, wait for confirmation. Don't try to be that hero to time the top or time the bottom. It's not going to work unless you know exactly what to look for and you've tested that for several months, right? So be careful with that, right? So we're going to be looking at some of these candlestick patterns, right? We're going to be using hammers, right? Hammers or pin bars, a hammer or a hanging man or a reversed hammer, whatever, and a pin bar is very very similar. So basically what we're looking at is just a bearish candle pin bar would look like, you had the body right here. So either we have one wick here or one here, but basically what we need to see is the bearish one. I want to have like a small body and then a big wick and a bearish candle. That would be like where I would be selling, and then a bearish engulfing. So we would just focus on that, some type of bullish or bearish engulfing or pin bar candle or something like that. So that's part of the entry trigger. Now, stop loss placement. Where's the stop loss placement going to be? We're going to be using a horizontal support and resistance based system. So we're going to be putting stop loss either above or below the candle that we enter on, or the structure that we enter on, or above or below the horizontal level we enter based on. Take profit, we're going to be using a very simple approach of take profit, and we're going to be using it at 2R or whatever makes sense, right? So if it's if we have a very obvious level at 2.7, we're going to obviously use that as our TP. But then if there's a lot, room, we're going to be using 2R. So here's the backtesting template I am going to be using. And now I removed all that. Never mind. So we're just going to be using this simple backtesting template. We're not going to be using any Confluence indicators here or anything like that. We're just going to be using the stochastics RSI. So it's going to be a clean. Let's go to Bitcoin, BTC USD. Let's use Coinbase because it's empty. So we're going to be looking at Bitcoin right here, and we're going to go back. How long are we going to go back? 2 months. Let's do 3 months, right? So let's do the beginning of March. This is where we're going to start back testing from. So that's going to be right there in the beginning. Let's see, replay function right here, and we're going to be using the 4-hour time frame. So let's only focus on the 4-hour time frame right here. So actually what we have right here is we're starting to see something interesting here, right? So let's put on some I don't have a link to the trading psychology audiobook, but what I would do is just Google on Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. It's also available on Audible. I think it's called Audible, right? I use that one. It's pretty cool. It's like $9 a month, and you get like one free audiobook every month, which is pretty cool. All right, so we have now I'm testing Bitcoin in a market where trading Bitcoin is stupid, right? At this point, it's quite hard. But we're gonna mark out a couple of levels here, right? So we have one level here, and remember, we're all only gonna trade. You know what? Let's trade this on the 4-hour and the 1-hour. The 4-hour and the 1-hour. And we're going to be 4 hours is going to be our main time frame, and then we're going to go into the 1 hour to potentially look for a little bit better entries. So I think we have an example here. Let's go back a little here, right? So let's just go back a little here. And I like this one, right? That's one level. We have another level. Let's say down here. We have one, obviously we have some type of level here. So let's mark that out like this. You can see how that kind of makes sense. Let's put it a little lower here, perhaps here. So that's a good support and resistance zone. And 2 levels here. So we're not going to be like, we don't care about market structure or anything like that, right? But we need to see like confirmation on 4 hours. So now we have resistance here, right? So we have 2 ways of trading this. You know what? Actually, let's remove the stochastics RSI. Let's just do clean price action here. So let's remove the stochastics RSI here, and we need some confirmation here that this level is going to act as resistance, right? So next candle. So we have two ways of trading this. Either wait for a breakout, and then we're going to be looking for potential longs or shorts up here, or longs on the bounce on the resistance. But what I'm looking for is for this level to act as resistance. Now, obviously, we know that this is a resistance because we know how Bitcoin has traded in the in the last couple of months. So here's the next candle. Not much happening here. That's a pretty strong reaction, right? A pretty strong reaction to this level. It's not quite obvious that this is support, right? I mean resistance, right? So we have a rejection at resistance. Now what we want to do, like we have a low time frame level right here. Let's go to the 1 hour. So what we know now is we want to short Bitcoin down to like this level or perhaps this level. So let's see if we can get a 2R if we enter somewhere here. So we go down to the 1 hour, and I like this. I like this. We have a strong bearish candle on the 4 hour, a strong bearish candle on the 1 hour, obviously. Now let's see what happens if price comes back up here, right? All right, price comes up. See on the 4 hour. All right, so let's say we enter on this candle right here, because as you can see right here, like I talked about in the beginning, you have wicks right here. Definitely looks like there's a lot of selling pressure right here. And remember, that's our TP, right? That's our TP. So this is going to be our entry right here on that candle close. And we're then going to be looking for 2R. Now, this might, stop us out, but that doesn't matter because we're going to just take another trade. So that's the first trade we're going to try, right? And you can clearly see the reasoning behind this idea. And then, of course, if you add back the stochastics RSI, this would add some extra confidence, right? Because the idea here would be to only short when the stochastics RSI is then above 70, and only go long when stochastics is below 30, right? Yeah, this is a good one. Big Shed. Trading Wisdom. I've read it. I've listened to it. It's a very good book. But honestly, Big Shed is a great guy, great trader. I really like to follow him. I really like him. You should probably follow him as well. But his book is a bit different from the Trading in the Zone. The Trading in the Zone is a legendary trading gem of a book, right? I must say, like, there's no book out there that even comes close to Trading in the Zone. With that said, Big Shed is awesome. He's a great guy. That book is really, really good. You should buy it. You should read it. Get that book. But Trading in the Zone is his mandatory reading for all traders out there, right? All right, so that's the entry, right? So let's try this, right? Actually, you know what? I said remove the stochastic RSI, but let's keep it on because it's just so beautiful here. So what we've done here is we've looked at the 4 hour for levels of interest, right? And market structure and all that. And then we go into the 1 hour to see if we can find confluence, right? Let's see what happens here. Not looking good, not looking good. Holy shit. That's not good. All right, so we have a -1R on the first trade. And by the way, I haven't really talked about risk management. Like, risk management is a crucial part about trading. But really, if you want to keep it very, very simple, you risk 1% of your trading capital on all trades, right? Right, so that's a stop out. Wow. It's a pretty bad one. So let's see if we can get another short in, right? So we have a level somewhere here, right? So what we're going to do now is we're going to see if Bitcoin can give us a rejection up around this area, right? And what we're looking for is, well, god damn it, man. How did I miss this? So we now have another resistance area up here. That might be the one of the worst areas to short. So here's another resistance area somewhere up in this area right here. So let's see if we can get a rejection here. And if we do have a rejection here, right, so we're starting to use this as a resistance area. All right, so we're now starting to see some type of rejection here. pretty good level right here. Let's remove that one, see if we can make another low time frame level right here. So let's look at the 1 hour here. Well, so looking at the 4 hour, we have a like an indecision candle here, and then a pretty strong bearish candle right here. I'm not ready to short this just yet, right? Um, we want to see a rejection here on the 1 hour. So let's see what we have here. We want to see a move lower. What's the 4 hour doing here? All right, that's looking like a proper rejection on the 1 hour, and wow, that's not going to work out at all. So if I base this on the 1 hour, this would be another stop out, right? So let's say we short this based on the 1 hour. Then we'll look on the 4 hour, and this is going to be a obvious stop out. So let's say we do stop out up here, and we want to do 2R, and that's just not going to work because this would be the support level below, and 2R would be down here. So the risk to reward here is just not very good at all. So let's run with the 4 hour again to see if we can get a better area of entry, right? Now that looks like a pretty obvious, you know. Now I'm not. It's not about trading a range, right? It's more about just seeing a resistance area, right? Price trading into this resistance, and as soon as there's like an obvious rejection at that resistance, I want to be shorting that, right? And I'm just looking at reversal candles. I'm looking at specifically pin bars and bearish engulfing candles at the level, and I then want to short. Like if I want to short this, I want to short back down to the next level below, which is going to be this one right here. Which and I'm looking for 2R trades or around 2R, and if I can't get that, right. So on the 1 hour, I don't know, man. I'm not seeing much here. But let's try this out. Let's see. You look at the stochastics, you have a nice rounded top here. So let's just try this out, right? We want to do 2R. It's not possible. It's just not going to be possible. Like we need to have a very tight stop loss if we're going to do a 2R here. So let's not even try that one. So let's just continue, right? There's not going to be in a trade here. See what happens. Now, obviously that short would have worked out, but the risk reward was just not favorable, right? So what we want to do now is we're testing support here. So now we want to see if we can get in on a long, right? And that long would be probably traded up to, you know, this resistance area right here. Something like that. So let's just try this out because we have a 4 hour stochastics RSI bull cross. It's not really bullish engulfing on the 4 hour, but we do have a pretty interesting candle here on the 1 hour. So let's see how this would work out right here. Let's put a very tight stop right here. That would be a 1.5. You know what? Let's just run with this and see if this even, you know, makes sense, because we need to get some trades in to even see if this is a viable strategy. Obviously, this would be a stop out. So we have a -1 again. So there's a reason why, as you can see on the results, like there's a reason why I don't trade like this, right? Because I haven't had a lot of success trading like this at all. So that's why I like to follow the trends, right? So let's try this again. We have 2 trades and 2 failed trades. So we're now breaking down, and looking at this, we might have a trade going here, right? Because we now see this horizontal level right here, it broke down, and we're now kind of retesting that level. So let's see if we have a strong like rejection here. 4 hour. Yeah, obviously we would have entered this before that 4 hour candle was closing on this 1 hour candle right here. Now the risk to reward here is going to be much, much better, right? This is going to be much, much better because we can now trade it down to, let's see, on the 4 hour. Do we have a good level here on the 4 hour? Yeah, right here would be where I would take profit. So that's 2.29. Let's see how this works. Right, so that's a 2.29 R trade. So we've got three trades, 33% win rate, and we're up slightly. So we are around break even on this right now, and now we're reaching a support area again. So we're going to be looking for longs, and our target for this long would be at the next resistance area above, and let's give it some extra room. So we're probably going to be putting it probably somewhere here. So what we want to see now is we want to see stochastic RSI in the oversold territory on the 4 hour and the 1 hour, and like the best case scenarios, we get like a 4 hour bullish engulfing right here. Let's see what happens. Right, like that. On the 1 hour. All right, so we now have something confirmed on the 4 hour. Now, unfortunately, the 1 hour is way in the overbought territory. Let's see if we have a proper. You know what? I quite like that. Let's look at the 4 hour. That looks pretty good, right? So we're going to be entering here, right? Actually, we might enter that based on the 4 hour. So we have the 4 hour close right here. Take profit area. Let's see how this is going to work. So 2R. Let's put a little bit tighter stop loss and put it lower. So that's going to be 2R, right? Let's see how this works. Probably not going to be working very well because we know how Bitcoin has traded, right? So that's a stop out. So now you're starting to see the process and the patterns, right? You have an idea and you test that idea, and at the end of this testing session, we're going to be looking at a possible, is this a viable strategy? Is this something that would work, right? Now here's a strong bearish candle on the 4 hour at that, like it's looking the 1 hour. We kind of broke down and retested that level, but it doesn't make a lot of sense, right? So what we want to do now is we're probably going to be looking for potential longs in this area right here. I need to work a little bit more on this, but I will definitely share this with you in the near term future. So what we want to do now is we want to look for Bitcoin to come down here and potentially enter a long, right? So let's see what happens. Now this area obviously used as support. Now let's see if we can find a short at the next levels. And here's a good level. Let's see if it trades higher. Now that's starting to be used as resistance right here, right? So now looks like we have a rejection here on the 4 hour. What is the 1 hour doing? Pretty decent rounded top here. Let's try one more 4 hour candle. Wow. All right. So let's do a little cheating here. Let's go back. This is not how we should do it, right? Let's one more candle, right? So that's on the 4 hour. Now let's assume that, all right, this is now resistance. You have stochastics RSI, bear cross up here. Stop loss going to be here, and then remember 2R. So right here. Now I'm not trying this to show you a profitable strategy. I'm just trying to show you how you start with an idea and then you test that, right, to see how it works. So that's a winner. That's a 2R. So 40% win rate and up just 1R, which is not that great, but it's still profitable. So if we continue to trade this for a while, and we are at maybe 50% win rate and up 3R at the end of this backtesting session, we know we have something to work with, right? We can definitely perhaps create a system with this. And now we have a potential long coming here as well. So let's go down to the 1 hour. Yeah, you know what? Let's just go along here again, because it's important when you're doing the initial testing not to be too picky, right? Not to be too picky on the way you're going to be trading this, right? Just select all the trades, right, to see if there's any idea on continuing with the back testing. Obviously, that's another fail attempt. That's a strong bounce right there. What is the 1 hour doing right here? Is there any sense in taking this trade right here? It's going to be 2R up to that level. Yeah, let's just try this. Let's just try this. Obviously, another stop out. And now it's kind of like, it's not really bouncing. It's like in the low time frame range here. So we're not going to be trading this. Now we're going to be waiting for this level to break, either break to the upside or break to the downside. And yeah, now we enter that stage of the Bitcoin market where it's just stupid, right? Where it's just not really that easy to trade. But here we have something, right? Like we have a resistance area here, right? Let's remove a couple of levels to clean it up a little bit. But we definitely have something here, right? I mean, this is a resistance area, right? And what you have right here is that first bearish candle, and then you have that bearish engulfing candle with a strong wick, and that's 4-hour stochastic horizontal bear cross. So let's take this trade. That would be a 2R down to this level. See how that worked out. It's a stop out on that one as well. And we're slowly but surely see how still a little bit quicker here, so we can actually make some sense out of this. All right, let's see if we can break below this level. All right, let's short this again. Say that this is the trade, right? We're going to be doing 2R. It's another stop out. So let's do like 2 or 3 more. Then we're going to go through the results, and we're going to talk about how we can potentially optimize this and how I would go about optimizing something like this. I would not be short. Like okay. I said we're going to be ignoring market structure, but I like if you see this, you're not going to short that, right? Now we're reaching that higher resistance area once again. So it's quite clear that we're at a resistance area right now. So let's see if we can wait, like if we can see a obvious rejection here, like around the top, an obvious rejection somewhere here. So it kind of looks like price is pausing here. Let's see if we get a breakdown here on the 4-hour. Right, that's the candle, right? So we go short on that candle right there, stops above the highs, and we're going for 2R again. Oh, god damn it. Well, it's a 2R winner at least. Right, let's do a couple more. So we're now at support. There's some type of support area here. See if we have any clear bottom here. See if the risk to reward makes sense here. No, it's continuing lower. Reaching another support area below. That's the breakdown. Now we're looking for a move lower to perhaps go short lower. In a very low time frame range, it's quite hard to trade this based on the 4-hour, right? But now we're at a pretty decent support. Like this is a pretty low area, right? So here we can probably look for longs. Nope. This is where everyone pretty much died, right? So where are we now? We're at that support area right now. So now obviously this is a good level potential support. I think you guys probably all remember this, right? Now we're very all right. So what we're gonna do now is we're going long on that candle close right there, right? And we're gonna be seeing if we can trade it up by 2R. No, it's terrible, 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 terrible. Let's do. Now we obviously know where Bitcoin is going, but like if we do see a move up to this level right here, we obviously want to be shorting a rejection here. So let's see what happens here. Now we're just ranging, and this is interesting, right? Because you could go into the lower time frames, like the 1 hour, and this is where you could perhaps start testing the same idea, but inside a obvious range, right? Where you have range lows and range highs, and if there's a clear rejection here, 1 hour bearish engulfing, you short. I guess, yeah, not a lot of great opportunities here as well. But what we want to do now is like we go out, zoom out, and we'll see if we can exit this range right here. And I think that's not gonna happen, right? Let's see. All right, now we're at the range highs, and we want to be seeing Bitcoin testing a major. All right, so we're now at current price right here. So we've tested this from the beginning of March, and we only have 10 trades, right? So it's not a lot of trades. The win rate is 30%, and we're down 0.7 R. So is this a good strategy? Not really. It's a terrible strategy. Like, this is a really bad way of trading, and I think this is how a lot of new traders actually do trade, and I believe this is somewhat of how I started, right? And this is just the first stage of potentially optimizing a setup, right? So if you're trading like this and you're not really sure on exactly what your entry triggers are and stuff like that, you need to put it in do a backtesting session, and then when you have this, you go back and you go through all the trades, right? So let's see, where did we have the first trade? It's this one, right? So we could look at, let's try to come up with an idea on what we need to test here. So let's look for let's see if the losers and the winners, like what was the confluence with the stochastics RSI. So what I mean by this is a short, right? And what I'm doing here is I'm shorting here while the stochastics RSI is in the oversold territory. So the stochastics RSI, there's bullish momentum coming in on the stochastics RSI. So I'm basically shorting against the stochastics RSI. So we have 10 trades. Now let's see how many of these are confluent with the stochastics RSI. So we'll do a stochastics RSI confluence tracker. First trade, was it confluent with the 4-hour stochastics RSI? The answer is no, right? No. So a no is a 0. Let's go to the next one. What's the next trade? Is it confluent with the stochastics RSI in the 4-hour? We're going long here. It is. So that's a yes. There's a 1. So the next one, which is a winner, was it confluent with the stochastics RSI? No, not on the 4-hour. So we'll write here, we'll write 4-hour. So it said no. And here it's a yes. And on the next one, there's going to be a yes. And on the next one, that's a yes and a yes on both of them. And we have this one, which is a yes and a no. And the last one, that is a no. Now let's look at the confluence tracker here of the stochastics RSI. So by using the stochastics RSI on the 4-hour as an indicator of confluence, our win rate is much worse. It's at 16%, and the cumulative R is 3. So taking the trades based on where the stochastic RSI on the 4 hour is it makes no sense, right? Now let's try the 1 hour, right? Let's try the 1 hour. So let's repeat all of this and we'll look at the 1 hour. And I'm working on this spreadsheet so you'll be able to have more Confluence analysis, right? And this is where the this is where the main results are, and this is where the Confluence analysis is. So you can see that you have 30% win rate versus 16% win rate, which is just terrible, obviously. So now let's try the 1 hour, right? So we go to 1 hour and we look at all the trades. And we're going to start from the first one, which was it here? Yeah. Stochastic RSI Confluence on the 1 hour, that's a yes. And then the next one is going to be a yes. Here's a no. And a no. Well, so this one is a bit tricky, right? Because if you look at this top right here, I mean, it's obvious that the stochastics on the 1 hour is topping out here, which is right here. But I'm entering here while the stochastics is in the oversold territory. I'm actually entering here. But what I would do is I would actually say that this is this is confluent with the stochastics RSI, because I'm actually, the fact that the stochastics RSI is topping out while price is also topping out right here, kind of adds confluence to that, right? Now you can take an example here where I enter a long here with stochastics giving me a very clear top pattern when creating the bottom, right? But when the top is created with a stochastic RSI top, that's the confluence I'm looking at. So I don't have to enter exactly when the stochastics is printing a top. So actually what I did here was I entered around this area. So I actually entered when the stochastic RSI was in the oversold territory, but the top was already created. So I'm trading based on this top, right? This is the top pattern that I'm trading based on, and that top pattern happened at the same time when the stochastics RSI. Yeah, I'll give you guys access as soon as the template is done. It's going to take a while, but I'll make it super useful for you guys. You can try it. You can follow me on Twitter, right? Follow me on Twitter, and I'll get that template out for you guys. Anyway, so this is actually a yes, right? This is actually a yes. It is confluent with stochastic RSI. So let's go back. Now look at this one. Is it confluent with the stochastic RSI? The top pattern, the top is actually the bottom is actually, so I would say yes, and this one I would say no. So it's a yes and a no. Now we go to the next one, and this is a hard one. Yeah, I would have to say yes. And then the next one is also, yeah, that's going to be a yes as well. And then the last one, well, this is weird, you know. But yeah, I guess I have to say yes on that one. All right, so let's look at the confluence here. The 1 hour gave us a 28% win rate versus the 4 hour giving us a 16% win rate. The loss is less on the 1 hour stochastic RSI, but there's a very clear reason for this, and the reason is we're actually based most of our entries on the 1 hour and not the 4 hour. So that's how I try different strategies and see if there's anything to continue to build on. You could also perhaps add a moving average to see if there's any confluence here with using a moving average. So this is the 4-hour 20 EMA, and you'll then see if there's any confluence with um, that moving average and these trades. And I don't think there's a lot of confluence here, right? Um, Not a lot of confluence here with the 4-hour. And then you could add like the MACD or Bollinger Bands or whatever. But I would say that this strategy right here is flawed from the beginning, right? So what you then have to do is you have to take a step back, kind of remove everything from the chart, and redo the backtesting template and start working on something new. And I think the reason why this strategy um, is not working is because we ignored very simple stuff, like we ignored the local trend and the overall trend. So what I would do is actually I would I would focus on market structure. So if we had market structure in place here, we would say that whenever there's like a clear high time frame downtrend, we're only going to be looking for shorts, right? So we're going to be using the same system, but we're only going to be looking for shorts. And when it's in a clear range, or a clear a clear range, you could take the decision to perhaps short every resistance and long every support, or you could choose to only trade in the direction of the trend prior to the range, right? So the trend prior to the range was to the downside. So I would say only go short at resistance of that range. So you see you have a downtrend right here. You have a clear resistance here of this range, and let's say you short here, here, and here, but you would not go long here because of that initial trend. All right, guys. So it's very hard for me to capture everything in a 1 hour webinar, right? That's why with my students we have several weeks of progress and several 1 hour meetings to kind of go into the basics and take it one step at a time. But this, I would say, is the basics, right? So you first have to come up with an idea, start testing that idea, and guys, it's going to be a lot of testing. You're going to be testing stuff that makes no sense, that you don't really understand. You're going to be testing stuff that doesn't work. You're going to be doing it all over again. Yeah, test a lot. I think I tested my system like 6 months before forward testing. So it's you should expect a lot of testing. All right, so we have a couple of minutes left, so I'll do a quick scan here of the markets to see if we can find anything interesting. So looking at Bitcoin, this is what we have a Bitcoin right now. It's yeah, I don't know what to say really. This is it is what it is. It is what it is, and it's pretty shitty price action right here. This is just a trend trader's nightmare. Unless you're on like the 5-minute, you might be finding some trends here. But even on the 5-minute, this is just insane, right? Insane. So let's ignore Bitcoin. So this is a good question. You have trading view strategies and strategy testers, right? So I do have a indicator I've been working on. So let's try that out, right? So I have an indicator here that I've been working on, and you could like you could code a strategy, right, into this, right? You can see right here you have like this works quite nicely in like trending markets. You have like long signals and sell signals, but in my system there's going to be some discretion involved, right? So I can't really trade everything based on just trading view indicators and strategy, because if you code a strategy into trading view, it's very, very specific entry triggers and exit rules and stop loss triggers, right? So and first of all, you need to code. You need to be able to code, which is I have no idea how to do that. So, but it's different, right? Because I can take a trade based on what I believe price is doing on a discretionary basis, right? So if I say, let's wait for 1 4 hour candle, a trading, like creating a system in trading view and testing that in strategy, you can't tell the strategies to say like, well, if you feel like there's a top, you take the trade. Like, you can't do that. You're going to say like, if there's a 4 hour bullish and gold with stochastics here, you take the trade. But that might not look the way I want it to look, right? So I'm a very visual, right? Everything I do is like I take the trade based on if I feel like it looks good. It looks like a good trade to me. Actually, let's see if I can find some examples here, right? So I have a folder on my PC here with good trades, which I believe everyone should have, right? So if you have a system you're trading, so my trading system is, it's called the RLC slingshot, right? And I have a folder here which is said like, I have good trades, RLC slingshot, and here I have a couple of examples. So and I like the trades that I really like, they need to look good. Like, they need to stand out and they need to look good. I don't care so much about the specific technical triggers. I'm more interested in the visual side of things, right? Does it look good? Do I get a good feeling of this? Do I like this trade, right? So you can look at, let's see if I can find like a beautiful example here is Euro GBP short here. So you have like, it's just, this is on the 4 hour, and you have this level, right? And they have a very clear, now this is not perfect by any means, but you have like a clear breakdown here, and you're coming up to retest that level. You have a 4 hour bearish engulfing right here with that stochastics RSI topping out on the level, and it's closing below the 4 hour 20. And it's just I just like the way it looks, right? And for me, that is more important than the specific entry triggers. That's why I'm heavily focused on the mentoring aspect of things, because like the students that have gotten the best results are the ones where we have the long conversations about what we want the system to look like, and working a lot with the visuals, right? So here's I think I have one like perfect. Yeah, this is Euro JPY. So this is near perfect, where you have like, let's see if I have another one. Yeah, I mean, you look at this one and you can clearly see how it's a nice trend. You have like following that pattern. It needs to be very clean and clear. You have this Euro JPY as well. On this Euro JPY, you'll see that you have a high time frame downtrend here. This higher high with this higher low is that break in market structure that we're looking at. And you reclaim the daily moving averages. You have that rounded bottom right here on the daily moving averages, and it's kind of in agreement with the 50 stochastics. It's very nicely bottoming out here. And this is just one of those trades where it's obvious you have to take this trade, right? And there's a couple of ways you can trade this. You can also wait for like this level to break out, and then wait for the next higher low. But I have another one which I feel like is a really good example as well. I mean, this one on oil is just absolutely beautiful, right? You have very clear downtrend right here, break in market structure here. You have a lower high and then a higher high and a lower low, which is also like a W pattern right here. You get that next line of the W, and you enter on low time frame, break and retest off that level. And here's another example of that stochastics, where I said like the bottom has to be confirmed and printed with the stochastics bottom. You don't have to enter when the stochastics is in the oversold territory on this, but the bottom that you enter based on needs to have the stochastics bottom. So here you have the W bottom right here with the stochastics, but as you can see right here, I actually enter when the stochastics is not in Confluence, but the fact that stochastics printed the bottom at the same time confirms the idea of entering this, right? And yeah, it's just a beautiful, break in market structure where you see a downtrend kind of entering a range and then it breaks out, right? So I really recommend you guys create a folder on your, well, first of all, create a system. You have the system, and then all the best trades that you like the most, create a folder on your desktop and save all the pictures, right? You can see that this is from 2001, right? So I have pictures here from way back, and I've guided them throughout the years of trading, and I look through them on a weekly basis. I try to look through them and kind of remind myself of what a good trade looks like. And you'll also see here on my background, right? So this is my background, and on all, like I have 4 screens, right? And on all of these 4 screens, I have pictures of what the system looks like. So whenever I power off on the PC, I'll see this as the login screen in the background. And here's just another beautiful example. I mean, look at this. It's a downtrend and a breakout right here, higher high, higher low, and it's just absolutely beautiful bottom right here. So that's what I'm like when I say, it's important to have the visual reminders of what we're supposed to be looking at. Here's a question about Forex brokers. Can somebody tell me what the best broker platform for Forex is in Europe? Have experience in crypto, but no idea where to trade Forex. So I would recommend, if you are looking for a crypto exchange to trade Forex on, you can try Prime XBT. But if you're looking for a legacy broker, a traditional broker to trade Forex on, I would recommend forex.com or Oanda. I've seen that a lot of people use Oanda. You can also connect your Oanda or forex.com account directly into TradingView, so you'll be able to trade you can also do this with FTX, by the way. If you're trading the crypto market and you're on FTX, you can trade everything directly on inside TradingView right here, which is just absolutely fantastic. I'll show you guys how that's used. So let's connect to a paper trading account right here, and we have the trading platform right here. So we want to take a trade on Bitcoin right here. So let's say we market buy right here, and we want to take profit at want to take profit up here and stop loss down here. So you can just easily put in your take profit and your stop loss. Yeah, all right. What's wrong here? So wrong stop loss might be, all right, entry price, market, stop loss. It's weird. All right, risk 1%. You can select like you want to risk 1% of your trading capital. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong here. Takes, why is it? All right, that's a bit off. But stop loss should be here. Am I retarded, or what am I doing here? Why is this not working? Whatever, let's remove this. So let's say, why is this not working? So weird. Let's try something else. So I want to risk 1%. Right now it's working. Stop loss is going to be down here. And take profit up here. So what happens now is everything's done inside TradingView. So that's the trade, right? And you can do this for the crypto market as well using FTX. And then on if you're trading on Wanda, it's just a beautiful thing you can do here because you can easily just move around like this, modify, right? So you move around the stop loss, take profit up here. Everything's done inside TradingView, so you never have to. You don't have to go, do all the trading, like do all the shorting on TradingView, and then go over to the exchange to change all the settings. You can do everything inside TradingView, which is really, really good. There's some limitations here. There's some limitations. I don't think you can have multiple positions open on the same pair simultaneously, which is something I'm used to doing. But having everything inside TradingView here is fantastic. So a very good tip if you want to try that out. Let's log out here. All right, so the crypto market is obviously not giving us anything. So what I want to do here before I end the live stream, first of all, if you have any questions on anything that I've showed you today, just let me know, and we'll go through that. Now let's see if we can find something interesting here. So we have an alert on BTC saying approaching range highs, but that's obviously not interesting because it's just chopping around. Euro GBP, what's up with Euro GBP here? Right, nothing. So it's the 8th today, which means I haven't had a lot of alerts yesterday or today, which is weird. Let's look at the news as well. Today we have much going on. Tomorrow we have the European Central Bank interest rate decision. Obviously, a major news event that is going to move the markets. All forex pairs paired with the euro will obviously get affected, but other pairs will might get affected as well. So got to be careful around that time. And then we have we got CPI. I think that's CPI, right? Got inflation rate for America tomorrow, which is a big thing, obviously. Big thing. So yeah, we have quite a lot of stuff going on starting tomorrow. So we got to be careful with whatever we're doing, tomorrow. Just gonna make sure to remember to check the news events if entering anything tomorrow or if I'm in any positions tomorrow. AUD CAD. So, I mean, first thing that kind of comes to mind here is how we, obviously we're in a major like downtrend here, so like a high time frame range, but whatever, like it's very high time frame, but we're in a major downtrend here. We tried to kind of break that downtrend but failed. Obviously this current daily candle is painting a very clear picture on where we might be headed, right? And I'm thinking where you might be headed down to this area right here. But the I believe the short setup is gone at this point. So I'll just have to be patient here and wait for price to do something, right? What I'm thinking is if I look at 1 hour here, I'm thinking if price moves down here perhaps and then retest that level, this would then be the trade. I would like for the 4 hour 20 EMA to come down here as well. And if we do get that, I'd like to go short here. And it kind of lines up nicely here with the SR levels as well. So let's see if this makes sense. Yeah, so this would probably be the trade, right? Where I enter on confirmation here. So TP1, TP2, and TP3 would probably be a 20, 50, and 25 because of the fact that this is an obvious support area. So I'd like to take more profits on that one. But this will be the trade on AUD CAD if we get that. I've not been doing a lot of trading recently, honestly, because I've not seen a lot of setups, and it's as a trader, it's very important that you understand when you shouldn't be trading, right? So understand, in which market conditions are you trading the best, and or in which market conditions are your system giving you the best setups. And in current market conditions, it's very choppy. I'm better off saving and preserving my capital than to take trades that are less good than normal. USD JPY never gave us that retest, but we want to have an alert on the 4-hour 20, and we're now gonna increase the fib here. Still makes sense for a retest of that level. We got AUD JPY. I'm still looking for a retrace here. So what I'm seeing here is this week. So we had a couple of moves in the beginning of the week, which is Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. So so beginning of the week we had some pretty good moves, right? You have USD JPY really broke out on Monday. AUD JPY started moving. So most of these trends right here, or a lot of these trades at least, started moving on Monday, right? And then looking at the news, starting tomorrow, we have the interest rate decision coming out of European Central Bank starting tomorrow, and then we have a couple of major news events for Canada and CPI, and got GBP JPY on the 13th. That's next Monday, I guess. So we have no, that's not next Monday. What the hell is it? I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm so confused. So we have a lot of news event coming up, right? Which there's two reasons. Like there's two opportunities. Like there's two scenarios. I'm thinking is either we are going to see this current trend break, or we are going to see a retrace to be bought, like a dip to be bought in the current trend. And I think that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking for a retrace down to significant area for me to be buying. So on USD JPY, I'm looking for something like this, right? And I want to be buying somewhere in this area. And same goes for AD JPY, right? I want to be buyer somewhere here, right? So I'm just waiting for this local trend to kind of break, and for prices to hit in important areas. And on CAD CHF, it would obviously be like this general area right here. So something like that, right? I want to be buying here. Let's do a quick scan here before we leave to see if we have any setups that we can enter like right now. That's a good one. This is a good one. USD CAD. I'm moving that up to the top of the list. NCD USD, also a very interesting one right here. Moving that top of the list. Euro CAD, also very interesting. This is a good one. Seems like I missed a good one right here. But then again, it doesn't really align with the stochastics RSI. NCD CAD. Just interesting. All right, silver is ranging. I'm moving this one up to the first list. We also have something here, right? GBP AD. No, GBP CAD is first. Euro AUD. All right. All right, it's the 10th. Yeah, okay, of course. Yeah, it's just a Friday, yeah. All right, so we have USD CAD, which looks interesting. It does look interesting. We have NCD USD. I do like. So this would have been a pretty like a decent trade. However, it would have been too late for me to. Enter this. But that would have been a good trade right here on that candle. All right, you guys are talking about AVAX. Let's look at AVAX. Nope. Looks rather like it's just, for me, this is just nothing, you know? There's nothing going on here. Just range. I mean, there's nothing going on here at all. ADA, Cardano. Yeah, I mean, this is a trade we've looked at already. So would have hit TP1 here. Yeah, I like this, but it's too late to enter, you know. Definitely too late to enter because we're testing the daily 50. So the idea would be to enter here. But you know, it's the fact that you're looking at 8-day, you know, Cardano and AVAX for longs. I think you're probably chasing setups here, which is not a good thing, right? Which is not a good thing. Just do not enter Cardano here. I would say that that's not a good idea because it's at clear resistance, right? Clear resistance. I would be careful with that. All right, guys. I think lunch is ready, so I gotta get some lunch. Unfortunately, there's not much going on here in the markets. I think it's a very boring market here. This is not much going on. My system is not giving me any like very clear entry triggers right here. So I just need to be patient and sit on my hands like I've done for probably like the past week, which is quite frustrating at times because I feel like now I'm at the time like I want to take a trade, which is also a reason not to take a trade, right? The fact that I feel like I really want to take a trade means I should be waiting. You know, I need to wait a little bit more because that need and that urge and that feeling of needing to take a trade will make me do, you know, make me take impulsive decisions. All right, guys, that is it for today. Remember to give me a follow on Twitter if you like what I'm offering here, and I'll have some more stuff for you on Twitter. All right, guys, take care and see you guys in the next one.